Narelle's here. G'day, Narelle. Darren's here. G'day, Darren. How you going? So, welcome everyone to Monday Night Live 61, the big night, the night that I've shied away from for donkey's ages. So, thank you everyone for joining me here. And don't forget, you can also see us on YouTube now. So if you want to go over there, S. Jones and Daryl and David on Rampa, David, Brett, Mr. Weirdo is here on YouTube, Adrian. Right, so everyone's here. So tonight's the night that I put it all on the line and tell you what I would buy. Not necessarily the best machine, but what I would buy. I have my list. I have pictures here. So just be gentle. But before we get into it, and we're going to have to rip into it tonight, so because there's a lot to get through. So, but before, I need to make an apology to Mark. Mark Richards is always a good follower here. He's got a group that I was meant to mention last week, metal detecting in country New South Wales. And the idea of that Facebook group, and if Mark's here, maybe you could put that link up, Mark, is that connecting people in country New South Wales to go out detecting together. So, so great idea, great little group. They do all sorts of fun things. So, so that's so Mark, if you can put that link up, that'd be great. But it's metal detecting in country New South Wales, phenomenal. So. Okay, so the first, so I've thought long and hard about how to do this, because the best machine is not necessarily the dearest machine. Also, the best machine to go out and have a crack is the one you've got right now. So, so that's the most important thing, okay? So don't think you need to sell your machine because it's not specifically a gold machine. Don't think you need to go and buy something specific if you're doing, if you're getting by with what you're doing now, okay? This is just with what I would buy, okay? We better mention the prizes. I've got 5 of these, the USB sticks with gold locations on them. The beauty of these gold locations, and was pointed out to me the other day, most of these mines had a town around them. So if you're into relic hunting, they're not a bad little relic resource as well. So just bear that in mind. So I've got 5 of them to give away tonight. So, right, here we go. So what I've split these into a number of categories, okay? So what would I buy of, so these are the categories. What would I buy for a pulse induction gold machine? What would I buy for the beach? If I'm into relic hunting, what VLF machine? If I'm VLF for gold, and then entry level and kids I've sort of mixed together. So, so they're the sort of 5 or 6 categories I've split them down into. So we're going to start right at the most expensive end of the land. So the machine I would buy for gold prospecting, is this fella here. Minelab GPZ 7000. That's what I would buy. The downside of a 7000 is it's $9,500, $9,000, right? It's a huge amount of cost, but it is by far and away the king of gold prospecting, all right? I can't say enough about what I've seen this machine do. I don't have one myself, but I have had one in the past, but it is by far and away the best gold machine money can buy at the moment. So the next machine I tossed up about, there's 2 machines I'm coming up with next, and I have actually settled on this machine here, right? And surprisingly, it's not the next dearest machine. It's a 4500. Okay, the 4500 with some of these more modern coils is a very, very powerful machine. Okay, so the difference between a 4500 and a 5000, right, is a couple of extra timings on it. I just think value for money wise, when you're looking at a 4500 about $3,500 versus a 5000 for a bit over 5000, right, I would probably save myself the couple of $1,000 and get a 4500, and I wouldn't be missing a whole stack. So the 45 is a great value machine. If I was in that budget, right, for $3,500, $3,000, I would probably get a 4500. I probably wouldn't get an SDC, although I haven't seen it with the new coils. So, so that would be just what I would buy. Okay, so rolling on along here, surprisingly, I love this machine. $3,000, ATX, Garrett ATX. It's a very, very good machine. It's got a lot of it's got a lot of knockers, and probably with good reason. I think the new coils, so this coil here, the mono and the double D, and also the 8-inch mono are probably the best coils. Will find gold, no doubt about it. A lot of the miners that use heavy equipment, so using excavators and dozers and that sort of thing, love it because they can work right next to the machine. So it has its place under power lines, all that sort of thing. So, yes, I use one of these simply because I like it. It's very, very simple to use compared to the 4500, but then you really have to throw into the mix the SDC. So the SDC with these new coils, yeah, Dale, people are asking, is that all these prices I'm giving now are new prices? So $3,000 is new price. We do it a little bit differently here to most of the Garrett guys, and in that we put any coil you want on it for that money. So if you want an 8-inch mono, if you want, yeah, want whatever, you can have that on it. So all new prices. So SDC, with the SDC, you're looking at 3,500-ish, and I would, the downside I think of the SDC, and it's always been the downside of the SDC, is having the one coil. But with these new coils from Coiltech, I think it's a very, very powerful machine. But you're looking at 3,500 plus a coil for $300, $400, $500. I'm not 100% sure on what the price of those coils are, not off the top of my head. So you're looking at probably a $3,700 machine. So is it a mile better than a 4,500 at $3,500? I don't know. I don't think it's pretty good. Those three at the bottom, the ATX, the SDC, and the 4500, you could interchange those really well. If that's your budget, that's where you should be looking. So that's PI machines. I wouldn't go anywhere else. There is other machines like the 5000, the QEDs are kicking around. Whites make a machine. You know, there's lots of people making machines in this price bracket, but they're the four I'd stick to. You can't go wrong with any of those four. It's a price thing. Yeah. So that's what I sort of think on those guys. Okay. So what's there's some people here that we got to talk to. Aussie Gold Prosper reckons the 5,000 it is worth the $2,000 extra. Yep, if you've got the $2,000, you know. Right. Nadia's here. G'day, Nadia. Ian's got no video. Try opening and closing, mate. Jeremy's SDC's good on little tiny gold. It is certainly that. I think these new coils will make it a dramatically better machine again. So, guys, the talk with the comparing the SDC that I've got up there and the 4500, okay, that fella there, they're not overly different price-wise, and the 4500 is a lot more adjustable. So it's sort of, for me, it's sort of, and you can put a stack of different coils on it, whatever you like. So it sort of edges me towards the 45 over the SDC, but that's a real personal preference thing. The SDC is very, very simple to use, so that's the upside of the 45. So, right. Baz is here. G'day, Baz. Baz got an old coin today, 140-year-old coin, so well done, Baz. Right, so then we've got Kylie from Jarvis Bay. G'day, Kylie. Rodney's here and Paul. Lots of people up and running, both on YouTube and on Facebook, of course. So, okay, so let's stick with PI machines, so pulse induction machines, and let's talk about the beach. Okay, let's talk beach diving for a minute. So there's really two diving machines people should be looking at. And that is, this one's one, the Minelab Excalibur, and then we've got the Garrett Sea Hunter, okay? Both great beach machines, phenomenal beach machines. The Sea Hunter, I'm in two minds about these two machines. The Sea Hunter is $12.99, right? So $12.99 against the Excalibur at $15.99. Okay, so do I think like the Excalibur is probably a little bit there's a little bit more to the Excalibur, but I don't think you probably get a stack more depth compared to the Sea Hunter. So it's, for me, that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Simple as that. Okay. So I would just be whatever brand you prefer on those two. There's not a whole stack of difference between them. Both come with waterproof headphones. One's a couple $100 cheaper. Yeah. So, yeah. So, right. Then, so people are talking about, Mario just mentioned there, the SDC and ATX are waterproof. Yes, they are. They're not beach machines though. They're not designed for beach machines. They're designed to looking for small targets in highly mineralised ground. So while they are great gold machines, and you can use them on the beach, and you can swim with them and do all that sort of stuff, it's probably not like if you're into that and you're into doing stacks and stacks of diving, right, and you want to swim with a machine, buy these. Don't buy an ATX or an SDC. So this is what I reckon, okay? Right, so the when we're talking the beach, right, and we cannot leave this fella out. Equinox 800, king of the VLFs on the beach. There's no doubt about it. It is probably a bit of a leap forward when we're talking about beach detecting. It runs silent. It's just a very, very good machine. So if you just do the beach, Equinox is the go. Okay. And the beauty of the Equinox is it's waterproof. Okay, so you can swim with the Equinox as well. Okay, so then if we go to, right, does anyone have any other, so lots of people are asking what's the best starter machine, right? I've done this in sort of price groups, if you like. Okay, so I don't know what the best starter machine is because it's a factor of budget. Okay, so if you've got $1,000 to spend, well, the best machine for gold is a 7,000. It's 10,000. Okay, so it's a factor of budget. So I've split these up into these price groups: pulse inductions, beach hunting. Okay, and really look for something in your price group. Okay, when we're talking about VLF machines, we're going to get into the VLF relic machines, the VLF gold machines, and then the entry-level machines. So we're going to get into that, okay? So, but like when we're talking, see, the problem with gold machines is you really need a machine that ground balances. If you don't have a machine that ground balances, you're not going to cope very well with it. So, so that sort of rules out that real entry level, that sort of below sort of $800. So, yeah. So you've got to, for gold prospecting, because it's such a challenging field, right? You really need to go to that $1,000 mark at least. And you can get, like, you can buy other machines that will do gold. No trouble at all. And like a Go Find 60. Someone just mentioned a 3-ounce nugget and an inch or something or other. Well, a 3-ounce nugget and an inch, you go find that. So, so yeah. So, you know, still got to put the coil over it. That's the trick to it. So, right. Mark talks about the Infinium there. It's discontinued, the Garrett Infinium, so we haven't included that tonight. Gold Monster's a good machine. G'day Maggie, Donna's here, Bruce is here. Lots and lots of comments here. Adrian likes his 705. What's the... So Damien asked on YouTube here, might be a silly question, but how do you tell if a machine ground balances or not? It's got a function on a ground balance function. So, and most of the machines below sort of $1,000 don't have it. So they're a fixed ground balance machine. So yeah, absolutely. So now before we leave the beach alone, there's a couple of machines I should also mention that will work well in those situations. One, AT Max gets a really, really bad review when people don't know how to drive it. Okay, you've got to set it up really, really specifically for the beach. It's not as quiet as what the Equinox is. It will certainly punch close to as deep as the Equinox, but it is really a good all-rounder. And there's a couple of all-rounders in here that I'll mention tonight that I reckon are good gold machines and good relic machines and beach machines. So there's only a couple of them, but yeah. Okay, so Darren's got the best trio, he reckons. What was that, a 7? Oh, Darren, I'm sorry, mate. There it is. I've lost it. Darren, 7,000, 2,300, and a Equinox 800. Yeah, yep. I question your SDC in that mix. If you've got a 7, the SDC will, you know, yeah. Right, so who else is there? Greg's here. Yep, so stacks and stacks of people here. Okay, so the other beach machine I wanted to mention, and I only really mention this as a bit of an aside. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy one, and that's the 3030, CTX 3030. Very good machine, very good on the beach. It's quite heavy now compared to a lot of these other machines, but performance-wise, it's very, very good. I probably wouldn't go out and buy one, to be honest. I would probably look at other options for that. So, like the SDC's $23, $24, $2,500, depending on what deal you can get. So, for a metal detector, lots of questions here. Is there a machine for both beach and bush, right? So for a metal detector, for a VLF metal detector, the salt water on the beach and the highly mineralised ground in the bush, where gold's normally found, are two opposites, okay? So that's why there's not one machine that will do everything. That's why most people have a beach machine, most people have a gold machine. So they're two opposites. So when people talk about having, like, let's have a machine for the beach, let's get one that does everything, there's always going to be sacrifices. Like the AT Max is quite good on gold with the small coil on it, but then is a bit harder to tame at the beach. Okay, still a good machine at the beach. Same as the Equinox. The Equinox is phenomenal at the beach, but you take that out the gold fields, it starts to struggle a little bit. Sure, you can find gold with it, but it doesn't really, there's no machine that does both well, okay? So that's what you've got to bear in mind with this whole thing. So there is some all-rounders like the Equinox, like the Max, like the Gold Monster, and if we exclude the if we exclude going in the water, XP Deus and the XP ORX are phenomenal machines. So, yes. Right. So just to bear in mind too, guys, we've got these. We're doing these giveaways. 5 of the USB sticks tonight. So we are going to give 4 away on Facebook. Okay, or maybe we should give 3 away on Facebook. Change my mind on that one. So 3 away on Facebook, and 2 are going to YouTube. So if you're looking on YouTube, I'm going to pick randomly who wins on YouTube. So I can't feed that into the randomizer. I have to work out another way to do that. So, right. Okay. So now, okay, I've drifted off target here a little bit, but let's just do a bit of a reminder. So 5 of these to give away tonight. I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every Monday night. I'm pushing to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed, I only need about 30 or so. So to get to 1,000. Yes, so guys, a lot of people are saying to me that the YouTube's much more stable. So if you're experiencing dropouts or your connection's not real good, get over to YouTube. I think you'll have more success. Yes, so right, there's one question there about the where was that? About AT Gold, okay? Would I buy an AT Gold over an AT Max? Absolutely not. So the AT Gold, I think, is probably the one machine in Garrett's range is probably superseded, right? The Max performs just as well. They're about the same price. The upside is that the AT Gold comes with the right coil, so where the Max you'd have to swap and change the coil. But I believe the Max is more powerful in the Goldfield, so no, I wouldn't buy a Gold. So yeah, everyone's saying that the YouTube feed is much more stable than the Facebook feed. Pity it doesn't do anything for my looks, but you know, that's the way forward. Righto, let's crack on with this. So where are we at? So let's talk about, have I got that? Need my glasses. I've taken my glasses off. It's a disaster. Let's talk about, oh no. Yeah, there he is. Let's talk about VLF relic machines. Let's get into relics. So, relics. If I was a relic person, right, for me, the king of relics, the 7000, the version, if you're into gold and you're looking at a 7000, right, and you're that same person looking for a relic machine, right, and you want the king of that, you want the best of the best, you buy this XP Deus. Not by a country mile, but by a fair way. So people, I can feel people starting to type about the 3030, right? So the reason, right, that I prefer this over the 3030, it weighs about 3 kilos less. I'm making that up. It feels like about 50 kilos less. So it's under a kilo, completely programmable. Updates are still coming. We haven't seen updates on the 3030 for a couple of years. I would just buy that. Performance-wise, there's not a great deal between them. It's got this full tones feature, which you can virtually tell what the target is without looking at the screen. It is, in my opinion, the best VLF relic machine on the market. Cracking on the dry beach, reasonable in the gold fields, although I think there's better machines in the gold fields. But for relic hunting, there isn't anything better than that machine there. And it weighs 900 grams, under a kilo. So XP Deus is my pick for the king of the heap. That's what I would have in my car, is that machine there. $17.99. So yes, still a very, very good quality machine. Then what have we got? The AT Max, probably the best all-rounder. Probably, maybe, only because it's waterproof. So you can take it for a swim if you want to take it for a swim. So $12.49, wireless headphones, really quite a robust machine. There was some early problems with them, but they seem to have fixed those now. You know, yeah, I like that machine. So then of course we go back to this fella, Equinox. It's a very, very good relic machine. I think where it falls down is in the gold fields. You can find gold with it, but it's not a gold machine. So I think it's more beach relic. But at, what's an Equinox worth? $11.99, $1,200. You can buy them cheaper on special. But, you know, that's what I would do. And then my favourite, all-time favourite detector is this machine here. AT Pro. So simple to use. Feels like when you got these machines that are high powered and hard to handle, going back to the AT Pro is just an absolute pleasure. I adore this machine. I think it's sort of like running on a, I don't know, it's a comfortable pair of boots for me. This machine if I'm going out the door and someone's lost a ring, and someone needs a help to find, I grab the Pro. It's as simple as that. It's just, I know it so well, and I love that machine. It's a great machine. Is it as powerful as everything else? Probably not. Is it as slick looking as a XPORX? No. Is it, has it got a backlit screen? No. There's a lot wrong with it. But geez, it's a beautiful, beautiful machine. It is probably one of my favorite all-time machines. So, people will bag me for that, but I like that AT Pro. It's, simple, powerful, put a Nell coil on it, and you're just sensational. So AT Pro is $1,099. You can pick them up a little bit cheaper than that at times. I've got a fair few of them over there, so if you want a deal on one, let me know. So I've left the 30-30 out of it, you might have noticed, because of the reasons I stated before. But I also like to make an also-ran is the macro machines. The multi-cruiser, I think, is a very, very good machine. Would I buy one? Probably not. The downside of stuff like QED, macro, even Fisher and Technetics to start with, is that compared to the big brands like Garrett, Minelab, XP, you don't have the resale value on them. So in 6 months' time, they're worth half the cost, right? Whereas a 6-month-old 7000 still getting virtually all its money back. So, that's the downside of some of these brands that aren't that aren't the big three sort of thing. So that's just how I think about it. So right, so what have I missed here? Lots of questions. Ian scored his Equinox for $9.90. Purchased from, they had a price beat advertised by 10%. That's often a good way to look out. Metal Detecting Country New South Wales is also just mentioned on YouTube. Said thanks for the shout out. No problem at all, mate. I forgot to last week, so my apologies, Mark. It was under another bit of paper. That buggers me up every time. So, so if you're looking, so let me just summarise that VLF middle of the range, because that's where a lot of people are. Okay, so VLF, I would buy a XP Deus. No, absolutely no question in my mind. Okay, if I didn't want to spend $1,800, I would buy either an Equinox 800, right, or an AT Max, okay? And that would really depend on whether my detecting was beach orientated or gold orientated. So they're the three machines I would buy. So that's what I would do. So if that helps, anyone, you know, happy days. So the other machine that I just want to mention as an aside to the Relic machines is the XP ORX. The ORX has got has got relic modes in it. It's very, very good. Don't use it on the beach. But for relics, the RX is a very powerful machine as well. Which actually brings me on to the RX. Okay, so when we're talking about VLF machines for going hunting gold, okay, so really that's choice of two, okay, ORX and that bad boy. So, and the gold monster. You could throw the gold bug 2 in there, which looks like this. Okay, let me get out of the road of that. Which looks like this. Proper old school. Finds very, very small nuggets. But what would I buy? Very, very, very simple. I would buy that. I've had it up against a gold monster. I probably prefer the RX over the monster. Some people won't want to change brands, and the difference between them isn't that great. RX is lighter, more versatile. I like the RX. So, and it picks up the tiniest bit of gold, the tiniest piece of gold. So I always have that in the car, and yeah, I always have that in the car. Would I necessarily? So if I was prospecting full time, I would have an ORX in the car and I'd have 7,000 in the car. They're the two machines I'd have in the car. No doubt in my mind. That thing there is an absolute killer in the gold fields. So, right. So they're the two machines. They're the only two machines I go for: Gold Monster or XP. And $12.99 for the XP. Gold Monsters are slightly cheaper than that. I forget now. I think they're about 1,100. I'm guessing on that one. So, yeah. So this machine here is the lightest, one of the lightest machines on the market. In that segment, it's the lightest. 800 grams. Really less. You can take the remote control off it, stick it in your pocket, then it weighs like 750 or something like that. It's stupid light. We've been selling a lot of them to people who have got sore shoulders, who have got previous injuries and struggle to even swing a Max or a Equinox. These things here seem to give the detecting a new lease of life. So ORX. So I think it's the best VLF relic gold machine. I think the gold monster is very, very close, but I think this edges it out. So, and there's the gold monster there. So I think that it's just running, not by much, but just running second. Yes. Okay, so Andrew asked a cracking question. Why would you have an ORX over a Deus? So, the first obvious thing is it's $1,200, $1,299 for an ORX. Let me pull him up here. $1,299 for an ORX and $1,799 for a Deus. But the Deus comes with the black coils, these black coils. So it comes with the black coils that are low frequency. The ORX comes with the white coils, which are high frequency. And the high frequency is better on the smaller gold. So why would I buy an ORX over the Deus? Is because with the Deus, if I really wanted to get serious about gold prospecting, I would probably want to buy that white coil as an aftermarket accessory. So all of a sudden, and the coils are about $550, so all of a sudden it's $2,350. So $1,000, you know, the other thing I've found, and I think this will come through shortly on the dais, is I think that for some reason the ORX seems a little bit more stable out in the highly mineralised ground. I could be wrong, but it seems like, yeah, it seems like that. Craig mentions that his dais came with the HF coil. Craig, they've changed that just recently. So dais comes with black coils now, only available with black coils. ORX only with white coils, but you can interchange them, sort of thing. So they've only just changed that, Craig. So you're fairly lucky to get a dais with white coils. So, okay. So, and then, so I also haven't mentioned the Macro Gold Cruiser is in that same sort of price bracket. So that's another one there that I would sort of look at. Okay, so let's see if we can get some questions here. Bianca says the 60 and 66 have found the most amazing coins and relics. Yep. Dan asked the resale on daises any good? Excellent. If you stick to XP, Garrett, Minelab, you cannot go wrong with resale value. Yeah, so those three, I like to think of the three bigger companies. Okay, Fisher might be bigger over in the States than XP. You know, all these, you could argue that. But those three companies, your resale is excellent on. I regard them as the three big companies here in Australia. So that's what I try and stick to. So, thoughts on the Gold Racer? I think it's a good machine. I don't think you get good resale on them. I think it's not in demand. So, you know, that's probably why I wouldn't buy one. Because if you buy one and find, 12 months later, I'm not using it, well, if you buy a Minelab or a Garrett, you can get really good resale value. So, yeah. Right. Okay, so our photo tonight comes from Blake from Blue Dog Prospecting, who sponsored the show last week. Blake's actually on YouTube, so maybe he could tell us exactly where that's from, but he's sort of mid-coast of New South Wales sort of thing. So Chris mentions that the Gold Monster is $9.90 at the moment. Aussie Alchemist on YouTube is talking about the Gold Bug being an excellent machine. Yes, so yeah. People are saying I'm big on Garrett. Yes. I'm so big on Garrett that I just said 10 minutes ago that the two machines I'd have in the car, neither of them were Garrett's. So, yeah, I like Garrett machines. Garrett make good machines. They're the biggest metal detector company in the world. So, yeah, anyway. Right. See, Trevor. Trevor talks about a Tesario. Geez, Trevor, how do you say that? Vicario or whatever it is. As a park machine. Yeah, they're good machines. Yep. Yeah, so this is like all of these machines are good machines. There's not many people that put out rubbish machines. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Okay, so we enter the bit now that which I find this is the bit of the detecting that I love the most. Okay, I love getting out there with kids and introducing them to detecting. My young bloke has young bloke has no chance. He just loves going treasure hunting. So, yes. So when we talk about kids machines and beginners machines, with one exception, they're the same sort of thing. This is probably $159. Greatest kids machine. It's only about 600 long. Sorry if the photo's a bit blurry. I don't know why that is, but I have my young bloke who is 3, who's just about to turn 3, has one of these and can use it. So it starts off with, like, that's what he started off with. And it's just got 3 emojis. It's a Bounty Hunter Junior. Phenomenal, $159. He hasn't destroyed it yet, but he loves it. He loves it. We got to work on recovery techniques. He's a bit eager, but this is the machine this is the machine that he's into. So, and that is the cheapest machine I can find. That and a Go Find 22 are the 2 cheapest machines that you could rely on to work all the time. Okay. So let's talk about then both kids machines and entry-level adult machines. Okay. So there's 2 I want to talk about really: Ace 200, okay, and Go Find 66s. Right. All of the Go Find machines and all of the Ace machines are phenomenal machines. Okay. Go Find 66 at $3.99 is the dearer of the 2. Fully adjustable shaft. So that's very cool for the kids as well. But very, very powerful machines. Perfect if you're into coins. If you're into fresh drop coins, $1 coins, $2 coins, one of these, a Go Find or an Ace, will just kill it. They are amazing coin machines. You will find stacks and stacks and stacks of stuff with these machines. So Ace 200 at $300, Go Find 66 at $3.99. There's also the Ace 300 at $4.49, so they're sort of price and staggered. So Ace 200 or Go Find 66 are my 2 picks for entry-level kids machines or just entry-level adult machines for doing parks and dry sand on the beach. They're the 2 picks I've got, okay? So $3.99 for the Go Find 66 and just over $300 for the Ace 200. They are just coin magnets. Then we've got this interesting little segment with only Brad just asked me questions. What's the thoughts on Megascan Pro? Brad, can you tell Brad on YouTube? Can you tell me more about the Megascan Pro? So, and Aussie Alchemist makes a good point here. Go Find 22 and 44, right? Like, Go Find 22 is a $139 machine, okay? The cheapest kids machine, this fella here, that I could find that work reliably is $159, okay? So, you know, try to work up, if you're looking for an entry-level machine, try to work up to the Ace 200 or the, what is it, Go Find 66, right? If you can work up to these 2 machines, either that or the Ace 200, right, you will have much better fun. You'll dig less targets and it'll be, yeah, absolutely. Trevor mentions I've only got 3 people left to go from 1,000 subscribers. Thanks for the update, Trevor. Who's the lucky 3? Yeah, Brad's going to get me some more information on the Megascan Pro. I like the name though, Brad. Megascan. Okay, this is this funny area I'm talking about here. Xterra 705, right? 2 years ago it was a $1,000 machine. Okay, now it's sort of $650, right? So, you know, that sort of leads me to think that it's not a bad little machine. And then we've got this bad boy, Ace 400s, right? Both of these machines are very, very good machines. There's no doubt about that. And the Ace 400 has come out a little bit later than the Xterra. I prefer the build on the Ace 400 over the build on the Xterra, but that's just more, yeah. So I would probably lean towards the Ace, but I can be a bit Garrett. Like, I like Garrett's. They're nice and simple. So, and the 705 is a great machine. So, there's no doubt about that. So, yeah. So, that's what I would buy. Okay? I know that was a lot of machines, but I had to sort of break it down into price points for everyone. So, that's the machines I would buy. Now, before, we've only got, how long have we got left? We've got about 10 minutes left. Well, thanks, guys. Looks like we've got to 1,000. Let me just double check here. Let me go to the dashboard. There we go. 1002. Thanks very much. 1,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Now I don't, you know, I don't worry too much about the about that. I like those milestones. My next milestone's 10,000, but that'll be a while away, so I won't worry too much about that just yet. So, thanks everyone. Up to 1,000, so thank you very much there. So, Brad had something on his garlic bread tonight. What are you talking about, Brad? Yes. Okay, so if anyone got any questions on machines, I can more than happy to answer some questions. We got 10 minutes. Yes. So if I was just to go out, and if I was to rattle through the best, let's just do a bit of summary while the, let's just do a bit of a summary while we've got any questions that come up. So, in pulse induction, what would I buy? I'd buy a 7000 GPZ 7000. Thanks everyone for the congratulations on YouTube. Thanks, guys. If that was too much money to spend, I would buy a 4500. So they're my top two picks in the PI machines. Then for a relic machine, I would buy an XP Deus by a country mile, with the exception if I was doing the beach, I would buy an Equinox. And if I was looking for an all-rounder machine that capable of doing the beach or capable of doing gold, I would buy XP ORX or Garrett AT Max. Okay. So VLF Gold, I would buy an ORX. Entry level machine for kids, I would buy Bounty Hunter Junior at 159 bucks. And you know, probably Ace 200. Yeah. I should also mention the Equinox 600. It doesn't seem like it gets a lot of love, the 600. It doesn't have the gold programs. It doesn't have the gold problems at all. Yeah, it doesn't get a lot of love. So, I've got a couple of questions here. Stacey on YouTube just asked, would I go a Gold Monster 1000 or an Equinox 800? So the simple question of that is, do you do gold prospecting? If you do gold prospecting, buy a Gold Monster. No question about it. If you like beaches and you don't do much gold, buy an Equinox. Very, very simple. Muffy asked, can I use my 4500 on the beach and what results would I get? Am I wasting my time with it? The problem with a PI machine at a beach, so the ATX, I can talk about the ATX because I've used that on the beach. On the beach, a PI machine will get a target every 2 feet, okay? With these PI machines, you can't tell what the target is, right? So you got to dig every hole. The downside of digging every hole is that being a PI machine, they go hugely deep. They go really, really deep. So you might be digging, I don't know, 4 feet for a Coke can. That's the problem with PI machines on the beach. So that's what I would suggest for that one. So and Trevor mentions he digs bobby pins at 2 feet. Well, Trevor, I think you'll get them deeper than that too, mate. So it just drives you balmy, or it drives me balmy. I can't use it. I have to use a VLF machine. Different if I'm diving. I've got a lot more patience for that if I'm diving. So, right, Michael Gans here. G'day, Michael. I don't know where Michael's comment. Andrew's here. Bianca. Kyle. And that's the other thing with PI machines, particularly the gold machines, that I forgot to mention. Someone reminded me of it. You will pick up tiny little targets on the beach that will drive you nuts. So, yeah. Yep. So, yep. Dale, horseshoes at 4 feet. That's what, yes. Jim Q asks, am I coming down to the Gold Expo at Ballarat? That's on the next couple of weeks. No, it's sort of just for the big hulls. Like, I don't know whether there's stacks of shops coming. Jamie says, I haven't mentioned the CTX. I have briefly. I still think the Deus is as good a machine as it, and the only advantage I can see with the 3030 is if you do a stack of beach and you don't like the Equinox. So yes, Scott, we have no time to cover best pinpointers. Thanks for the question anyway. So yes, so if you're in Bendigo or around the area in the next couple of weeks, there's a Gold Expo going on. I think that will be phenomenal. Yes, so yeah. Baz mentions here on the AT Max on the beach, he's got $50 worth of coins. I think that was just in one session, so must be a good beach. So Jimmy asks, we go in the Southeast Queensland nugget hunt. The nugget hunt is on the weekend after Easter, whatever that date is, 24th April, I think. So yes, I would, yeah. I am going to that. I am going to be there. So, right. Okay. So it must be just about time for the draw. So let's get the randomizer going here for the 3. So guys, you've just got a minute left for me to draw out the USB sticks. So make sure you share to win. I forgot to mention that all night. While I'm getting this ready, next week's show, I'm going to do a bit of a safety on the bush. So, or safety when detecting, I suppose. And I'm going to bring in what I carry with me when I'm doing the remote stuff, and I'm going to also bring in what you know, my first aid kit in the ute. So we'll have a look at that. So so let me just okay, so the winner is Brad Ainsworth. Brad on YouTube. Brad, I need to contact you, or you might need to contact me. Let me open that up there. Look at that, I'm getting all flash here. So Brad on YouTube, you won a USB, Brad Ainsworth. So congratulations, Brad. And let me just scroll up here randomly. Maddie Boy, congratulations on you've won a USB stick there. The prize winners on YouTube. So then the randomizer has run its course. So Ian and Decimus Smith, looks like Mackay, you've got a USB stick coming your way too. Dale Burgess, I don't know where Dale's from. Dale doesn't let anyone know where he is. He's secret squirrel, Dale. And then James Adams, James, wherever James is Ballarat. So thank you very much, guys, for helping out getting to 1,000 on YouTube. Thanks everyone for coming along tonight. It's been a sensational night. I hope I've made things easier and not more confusing with this, with what machine I would buy. I'm going to do this. So this was our autumn edition. So by spring, if there's any new machines coming out, I will include that in it. We'll do it another spring edition. So we'll do that, one in spring, one in autumn, and it should cover most of the machine releases. So so that's what I plan to do with this. What detector would I buy? I hope it was. If you've got any feedback about this show, about what machine to buy, please let me know. I want to see if we can. I need to narrow the list down. I got a bit broad there. So, but if you've got any suggestions for that show, that would be great. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Don't forget, if you're in country New South Wales, don't forget to look at Metal Detecting Country New South Wales. Mark runs a good show there, and I will see everyone next week when we do a bit of safety. What I carry, what I don't. Thanks, guys. See you.